He's gonna push the mid wave and straight back to the same. So his entire heat map, there's like one little dot here, and the rest, the only thing that is like super red is this. He didn't play in any other area with TA for 14 minutes. Now this just goes to show you that if you don't have any clear looking plays when you play TA, you don't really have to do anything different other than this. And what we're going to look at now is just the mid perspective, okay? But let's have a slightly different approach. So what we did in the DK game where we, looked at the offlane DK of Ice as Ice, we were only interested in the laning stage. So now let's look at the laning stage, but also like the early farming patterns when the lane is over. Because I think with TA, we're going to be able to figure it out. I think TA only has like 1 or 2 ways to play the lane. Generally you just farm with Refraction and Blades, but lately there's also been a different build with Meld where you can play aggressive with that. So the mid lane is quite a bit different from the side lanes. It's very important like how you start the lane and also what items you buy. But then with a hero like TA, it should become quite apparent that this hero, compared to other heroes, it doesn't really gank. But I am most interested myself in the farming patterns that Abed decides to do after the lane is over. So let's say I'm not super interested in the lane. I'm still gonna watch it in like 1.5, maybe 2 times speed, maybe 4 if it's really something I'm not super interested in. So we can already see here that he values the block a lot in this matchup, because he was blocking from the tier 3, which means he was not even helping at the runes, right? So let's speed up his block. That's maybe something you guys want to improve as well. A lot of people are not good at their mid block. So now, look at, he has a lot of stats, Fairy Fire Tango, and a bottle queued up, which means that he wants to be able to get his bottle with his first 3 tangos. So now what does he do? He runs behind the wave, skills Meld. So this is the type of game where you can learn already. If you play TA against maybe some of these melee heroes, perhaps you want to look to skill Meld, because apparently this is going to work really well. So here, he plays very aggressive on the Kunkka. He's gonna look to pull these creeps on the range here again. Yeah, range is gonna go slightly low. He gets to meld the Kunkka again. Nothing too crazy. He goes meld into Blade. He needs to go and aggress this range creep. He melds the Kunkka again. Fine. So as I said, he's gonna look to use the starting region to get his bottle with it. So he's eaten 2 iron branches with his tango. Very interesting. Looks to Psyblade. Let's see what his next set of skills are. Currently the CS is very even. No, he's slightly ahead now with 7-4 to 5-4. 0-1-1 build. He's getting his bottle. So now, what's important? He's getting his bottle. How does he work with the runes now? Oh my goodness. Refraction into Meld. Plays very aggressive. He nearly got to kill him. So now, I think right now he's kind of waiting. Because if he goes to one rune now, the Kunkka will take the other. But if he gets to push in the lane, then maybe he can take both. Here he plays very aggressive. He's just abusing the fact that he's ahead in terms of net worth and items because he has his bottle and Kunkka's out of region. So what do we do here? He denies to get that. He runs bottom. He gets the water rune. And now he chose the perfect timing. He ran to the rune in downtime. And now he's actually going to be able to get both runes. Whereas if he went here earlier, the Kunkka would have taken the other one. I think Kunkka could have maybe taken this one anyway, but this just goes to show you that he chose a very nice timing to do it. Instead, his first courier usage, Blightstone, okay. So something else to take away is like what type of items do they go. But I think for now, he's already secured the lane. Like he knew exactly how to play this lane. He just keeps melding the Kunkka. He called for his supports to come middle because the Kunkka has an empty bottle, as does he. So the Lion is securing the top rune, Hoodwink is securing the bot rune. So this already goes to show you that EG as a whole and Abed, they put a lot of emphasis on these runes because he's doing very well right now. And this, just hurts the guy a lot. He just had to X-Mark TP himself back to base. That is 100 gold right there because he didn't get to refill his water rune. So now let's see how Abed plays this lane after he gets level 6. He's not even going boots. He's going Glove of Haste. And right now, note that he's not pushing the wave into the Kunkka. Because if he does, that's how Kunkka gets CS. Whereas if he just holds the wave here, he's denying a lot. I would assume that eventually, maybe now, now with the siege in level 6, he completely changes up his playstyle. He gets trapped, he hits him a lot. They X-Mark torrent him. So very nice play by Vici here to turn this around. Or is it? It's not quite good enough, actually. They will not kill him. Yes, they will. So, this is just very nice to see, like, from both sides, really. So, he's holding the wave very nicely to... He's owning this Kunkka really hard, okay? And now that he gets level 6, he's gonna start to play a lot different. You know, like you can see here, he traps, he plays very aggro. Maybe a little bit too aggressive, but it's only too aggressive if Vici respond like this, which is very well done by them. So they do an X-Mark play into a Torrent. They bring both supports. He has Refraction. They need to bring a Sentry as well. EG in return also bring both of their players. To be fair, if Abba just runs away, he's fine. But what we need to take away is simply we need to be able to adapt in the game, right? He holds the wave here, he owns the Kunkka, but then he gets a power spike with his traps, or at least he feels so, which is correct, so that he can play aggressively onto the Kunkka, and he only gets punished if Vici play very correctly and if he maybe messes up a bit. So now let's see, he goes back to the lane with an Observer Ward to, you know, place himself a ward. They're probably going to help him with some sentries, because usually when you play against TA, you need sentries in the mid lane. As you can see, it's like a mid wars right now. Vici bring 2 sentries to the mid lane. So if you play TA, what is something to take away already? It's very important that you have sentries, because you need to have traps in the mid lane. So now he's backing off into the jungle, farms a hard camp. He comes back to mid, because when you're TA, you don't want to be the hero at the tower that gets gone on first. You want your supports to take that move away from you while you farm, and if they go on your supports, that's when you come back to the lane. As Abed takes a lot of pressure, barely lives, places another trap in mid, as Vici Gaming bring even more heroes into the mid lane, whereas Abed farms a bit, but it looks like they might defend this tower. So they used Arena, they did lose a hero, and they lost the siege. So honestly, this is not bad at all for EG. And again, remember, this is the lane we watched earlier where the DK did really well. It allowed the Hoodwink to stack up the jungle for the TA like this. So now the TA has a stacked hard camp, a stacked ancient camp, and as you can see, the TA hasn't really laned mid right now for like, what, 2 minutes? He gets his bottle refilled, he gets the DD, they have a trap on the rune, which is great. I mean, I think we all know this. We want to have traps on the runes and potential places where we can get ganked. So now he's just kind of farming like this, right? He's doing like this, he pushes out mid, he goes back here. Earlier when he was a bit weaker, he farmed this, then went back to mid when there was threat on the lane. So for now, he's just hitting creeps, right? He's not running around doing anything fancy. Farms the ancients, gets a new bounty rune, farms the hard camp. Might go back to middle now. Yep, so now he goes back to mid. Now he's just pushing. And now he should back off and from the jungle again, most likely. Okay, he's gonna push another wave to go for the active rune. Gets an active rune. They know that the camp is blocked now. Otherwise, he would have farmed the camp, went back to mid. So now we're just kind of looking. You know, he has a haste rune, plays a bit aggressive. Maybe he's looking to kill the guy, force a TP. It's not his job right now to go and kill this tower. He can die. Like, if he just gets X-marked, he dies. So he knows. He just backs off, runs back to his triangle. He's going to farm the hard camp, look to stack the ancients. So the farming pattern is kind of like kill the mid wave, run here, stack, kill it, run back to mid, do the same. If these camps are blocked or if the right side is dangerous, he will do it to the left. And for now, he's just farming, you know? There's nothing crazy happening. Now he goes back mid. Remember that his team just took a couple of spells. They used Bolt, they used Ice Blast. So now this is where now he's able to hit the mid tower a bit because Radiant used some spells. He forces Glyph. He's chilling. He hits the mid tower for a bit. He tries to force some stuff. And where do we go again? Push up mid, back to the triangle. Push up mid. The only reason why he's here so early now is because his team is smoking. So again, it's very important for us to adapt. Perfect. They play together as a team. Now they use their timing. And this is how they take the mid tower together. By bringing a lot of the people, playing together. Now they take mid tower. He's going to push the mid wave. And straight back to the same. So his entire heat map, basically, there's like one little dot here. And the rest, the only thing that is like super red is this. He didn't play in any other area with TA for 14 minutes. Now this just goes to show you that if you don't have any clear looking plays when you play TA, you don't really have to do anything different other than this. He's top net worth by a lot. He's 2k ahead of the Kunkka, even with one death. He hasn't lost his tower yet. They took the enemy mid tower. And his game is looking great. He's going Dragonlance into Blink. He went for a good skill build in the lane. You know, with the meld, he melds the Kunkka, he goes Flyblades, he pushed in the lane at the right time. Before, like when he wasn't strong enough to like pressure the Kunkka a lot, he will try to keep the lane back to abuse the Kunkka's weakness there. But once he got strong, it was like a complete turnaround. Instead of holding the lane, he pushed the lane to then play aggressive on the Kunkka. Once you have high levels, you want to kill this wave instantly and back off to your triangle and farm. It all seems very simple and stuff like that, but it is very important how you play with these type of heroes. And you could also see from VG Gaming, they know how to play against a TA. They have one sentry here, clear all the traps. They even block the easy camp because they know, well, the way the TA is going to farm is to push in middle and then run to the right and just, you know, farm the easy camp, farm the hard camp, farm the ancients. And alone, again, just from these 5 to 10 minutes of gameplay, I learned how, you know, what starting items could be good in this specific matchup. How do I want to skill TA? Maybe against a lot of melees. I think you should skill the same way if you play against an Ember Spirit or something like that. He absolutely beat this Kunkka. Well, I already knew some of the things, like if the enemy team can make moves on mid, you don't want to be the guy here. That's also another reason why farming the jungle for you can be so good. You want someone else to be here to take the boat or the arena, and once the boat and arena is used on maybe like a Lion or a Hoodwink or a Dragonite, that's when you come back and you help defend the tower, something like this. Other than that, you just farm. You check your rotations, your farming patterns. If you do ever have a Blink Dagger or if the side lane towers die, TA becomes a very good side lane hero in the mid game because you can place all these traps to protect you. You can also leave like 2 or 3 traps behind in the lane to always cut the creep waves. And now you don't have to farm this anymore, right? Like you can be more aggressive. Now that you have a dagger, suddenly he becomes active, you know, because he has a blink. He can follow up with blink meld. He has stats from his Dragonlance, so that feels great. Sadly, he cliffs himself. He gets another rune. He pushes mid. But now instead of, you know, pushing and falling back, it's more of like a pushing and going aggressive because he has the timing for it with blink, Dragonlance. Now they can go Roshan. If there's nothing to gain mid and here, then he would, trust me, he would play here. Bottom, you know, he would have like a 1 trap here, 1 trap here, maybe 1 here, 1 or 2 or maybe even 3 in the lane. If he's looking to leave the lane and farm backwards, he would leave a few traps, use the traps here to cut the wave and just keep his game going. And now you'll just keep seeing them kind of like play more so aggressively. Again, spells are being used on his teammates. He blinks in to kill the easy heroes with blink meld. And seriously, I already learned a lot from just these 10 minutes of gameplay. I don't even want to use more. You know, I don't want to look more at it because otherwise it's just going to be too much information. And that is not something that we want. We want to have like, I would just like to call it precise amount of information. You know, 1 or 2 topics that we want to look at. We focus on this. We try to understand it. And now we should look to, you know, take this into our next pub game and learn it. You know, try to implement it in your games. Like something that I've tried to improve on lately is to do the first smoke moves the right way, to understand laning and how to take and defend the first tower. So for me, when I go into a game, what's most important to me are the first 10 minutes. If I win the game, that's great. If I lose the game, okay, it happens. But most important for me is what to do in the first 10 minutes and what to take away from it. But that's just my own personal goal. And as I said before, you guys should have your own goals, your personal things you want to look to improve in. Try to set up your hotkeys in a way that, you know, makes it easier for you. Find the right players. Look for the games where they play maybe your heroes. Check out their item builds or whatever you're looking to improve in. And trust me, guys, slowly but surely, we will turn you guys into better and better and better players with better understanding on some heroes, maybe even a lot of heroes. And, you know, together we can all get better. And I'm just so glad and so happy to be able to make content for you guys. And as always, we appreciate your feedback. Have a great one. I hope it's going to help you guys out. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.